Hello, everybody. Shalom. Shalom. Peace be unto you, beautiful Israelite and Gentile people. All right. So we're going to go further into this tithes and offering. I want to make sure that you understand this because I want you to hold on to the money that you have because you need to make preparations for what's coming up. Okay? So, we talked about last time that the tithes and offering are not money. All right, and you shouldn't be giving money to a church who says that you're robbing God. We learned that the last time. It wasn't talking about you, it was talking about the priests, the Levites. We don't have Levites anymore right now, so none of these pastors should be preaching any of that Malachi because they are not Levites. But I already talked about that in the last episode, so we're going to talk about something new. We're just going to go further into this tithe and offering, all right? So let's look at Leviticus 27, verses 29. I'm sorry, verse 30. So verse 30 says, "And all the tithe of the land, whether of the seed of the land or of the fruit of the tree, is the Lord's and is holy unto the Lord." Now we say the Most High, but I'm going to read it like you see it, okay? So, tithe is the seed of the land or of the fruit of the tree. Got it? So, that's the first scripture. Let's look at the second scripture because I'm going to give you three. There's more, but I'm going to give you three. Let's look at Numbers 18, 23 through 25. Okay. "But the Levites shall do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they shall bear their iniquity. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, that among the children of Israel they have no inheritance." So it's telling you that the Levites are going to serve in the tabernacle. They're going to take care of all the sins and the iniquities and everything that the Israelites do by taking these, tithes and performing the offerings, okay? So the Levites don't have any inheritance. That means they wasn't partitioned out a piece of land. That was just for them. Okay, so it's going to tell you what they do have. It says, "But the tithes of the children of Israel, which they offer as a heave offering to the Most High, I have given to the Levites to inherit. Therefore I have said unto them, among the children of Israel they shall have no inheritance. And the Most High spake unto Moses." Okay, so they don't have any inheritance, but they gotta eat. You know what I mean? They gotta be fed. They gotta have something. So part of the tithe that's given is for the Levites. So the heave offering is a meat offering. Is meat. I don't want to say meat offering because that's a little confusing. It's meat. So part of it, and it's fruit and vegetables and things. So what the what is given to the Levites to the tabernacle as tithe and offering, part of that goes to the Levites so that they eat because they're always serving. All right, and they can't go out and work because their work is in the tabernacle. All right, let's look at the next scripture. Nehemiah 10, 36 through 39. All right, Nehemiah 10, 36 through 39. So let's start at 36. "Also the firstborn of our sons and of our cattle, as it is written in the law, and the firstlings of our herds and of our flocks, to bring to the house of our power, unto the priest that minister in the house of our power." So you see, God reads as power. All right. "And that we should bring the first fruits of our dough and of our offerings and the fruit of all manner of trees, of wine and of oil, unto the priests, to the chamber of the house of our power, and the tithes of our ground unto the Levites, that the same Levites might have the tithes in all the cities of our tillage." So it's all the cities of our tillage. It's to save, okay? "And the priest and son of Aaron shall be with the Levites when the Levites take tithes, and the Levites shall bring up the tithe of the tithes unto the house of our power, to the chambers, unto the treasure house." So all the tithes that they bring in, okay, let's say they bring in 100 bushels of whatever, all right? So a tenth of that 100 bushels goes into the treasure house, all right? Okay, because it says, bring up the tithe of the tithes unto the house of the power, to the chambers, unto the treasury house. For the children of Israel and the children of Levi shall bring the offering of the corn, of the new wine, and the oil unto the chambers, where are the vessels of the sanctuary, and the priests that minister, and the porters, and the singers, and we will not forsake the house of our power. So, they take all of that and they store it, okay? Um, and they store it for the elderly, for the old, for the sick, for the widows, for the orphan children. It's saved up, okay? So let's look at the next thing. And I don't know if I have a scripture for that, but I'll find it. You can find it yourself, actually. All right. Let's look at Exodus 20 and 23 through 24. Now, this is talking about the offering, because there's two separate things. This is the tithe, which is one thing from the fruit of the ground, and then there's the offering. This is the animals. All right. So let's look at 23. Ye shall not make with me gods of silver, neither shall I make unto you gods of gold. I just stuck that in there because that I just want y'all to know, no idols. So if you walking around with crosses on and all these other things that you're worshiping, even if you're not worshiping, it's supposed to be a symbol of your worship, and you need to get rid of it. Okay, it's not. That's idol worship. Oh, and I wanted to go back real quick because I wanted to talk about that first verse of Nehemiah 10 and 36. Also, the firstborn of our sons. The firstborn children are your tithe too. They're not coming to be slaughtered. So don't think that you're supposed to bring your children to be slaughtered. No, your children are supposed to be presented to the tithe. They need to be accounted for, the firstborn of your sons, because they are the leaders of that household when the father dies. Okay? So don't think that that's a human sacrifice. It is not. I just want to get that through your head. No human sacrifices, okay? None. All right. All right, so let's look at, we looked at Exodus 20, 23, and 24. Let's look at 24. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offering, and thy peace offerings, thy sheep, and thy oxen. And all places where I record my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. So, an offering, one of the offerings, which is the burnt offering, you make you shall make earth, an altar of earth. So a big mud table, all right? Cement table could be. Is where you have your burnt offering and your peace offerings. So your burnt offerings and your peace offerings are sheep and oxen. Okay? Not dollar bills, y'all. Sheep and oxen. All right, let's look at Exodus 29 and 14. All right, Exodus 29, verse 14. But the flesh of the bullock and his skin and his dung shalt you burn with fire without the camp. This is a sin offering. So that's another offering, sin offering. So you take those things. We had a camp. We had a wall around our camp inside, and outside the wall is where you did this. You burned these things. The flesh of the bullock, his skin, and his dung. That is the sin offering. Okay? Next one. Exodus 29, 23 to 24. So let's start with 23. And one loaf of bread, and one cake of oiled bread, and one wafer out of the basket of the unleavened bread that is before the Most High. Because you have to have a basket with the breads on the show table. All right? So 24. And thou shalt put all of the hands of Aaron and in the hands of his sons, and shalt wave them for a wave offering before the Most High. So you put all the cakes, the oil breads, and all that stuff, put it in a basket, and you wave it around. Okay? That's a wave offering. All right. Let's look at the next one. Exodus 29, verse 26 through 27. Exodus 29, verse 26 through 27. 26. And thou shalt take the breast of the ram of Aaron's consecration and wave it for a wave offering before the Most High, and it shall be thy part. And you shall sanctify the breast of the wave offering and the shoulder of the heave offering, which is waved and which is heaved up, of the ram of the consecration, even of that which is for Aaron, and of that which is for his sons. So the heave offering goes to Aaron and his sons so they can eat. All right. So it's the breast of the ram. It's for Aaron. It's for the Levites. Aaron is the first priest, and he was a Levite. So they priests are called Levites. Or Levites are the priests. Okay. So they, like I said, they didn't have an inheritance, and they couldn't go out and make food. They were on call 24 hours for whatever how long their shift was. It might have been for 3 months. It might have been for 6 months that they had to work in the temple and in the tabernacle, and nobody could come into the tabernacle or they die. So they had to eat. So this is part of what their food was. Okay, where they got their food from. All right, let's look at Exodus 29, 38 and 42. Exodus 29, 38 through 42. 38. Now this is that which you shall offer up upon the altar: 2 lambs of the first year, day by day, continually. Okay, so every day, 2 lambs. 39. The one lamb shall offer in the morning, and the other lamb you shall offer at the evening. 40. And with the one lamb, a tenth deal of flour mingled with the fourth part of a hin of beaten oil, and the fourth part of a hin of wine for a drink offering. All right. 41. And the other lamb shall you offer in the evening, and shall do thereto according to the meat offering of the morning, and according to the drink offering thereof, for a sweet savor, an offering made by fire unto the Most High. This shall be a continual burnt offering throughout your generation at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Most High, where I will meet you and speak there unto you. All right. So every day, for it's continual. 2 lambs, 1 year old, one burnt in the morning, one burnt in the evening. And then Most High said he will meet us there and speak unto us. So this is at the tabernacle. This is not at your local church. Okay? Let's look at Exodus 30 and 13. 30 and 13. This they shall give every one that passed among them that are numbered, half a shekel, after the shekel of a sanctuary. A shekel is 20 gerah, and half shekel shall be offering to the Most High. So half a shekel is 10 gerah. So that's a weight. That's a weight. And it's not a big weight. It's a very small weight. Okay? So half of a shekel. That's where the only place that you see anything about money. And that money went towards the repairs and things that needed to be repaired for the sanctuary. Okay? It says half a shekel after the shekel of the sanctuary. All right? That's what it was for upkeep. Okay? Let's look at Exodus 30 and 14. And we don't have a tabernacle right now, so there's nothing to upkeep. And those local churches are not tabernacles. So it is not sanctified by the Most High power. So that's not where you should be giving your money. All right? Look at Exodus 30 and 14. Everyone that passed among them that are numbered from 20 years old and above shall give an offering unto the Most High. So if you have someone that's 20 years and older, that's who should be giving an offering. Stop sending your little kids with pennies and dimes and quarters to Sunday school for offering basket. Stop it. Not for little kids. All right. Let's look at Leviticus 1, 13 through 14. All right. Leviticus 1, 13 through 14. Okay. But he shall wash the inwards, and the legs with water, and the priest shall bring it all and burn it upon the altar. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of a sweet savor unto the Most High. And if the burnt sacrifice for his offering to the Most High be of fowls, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves or of young pigeons. Okay? Burnt offering. That's what that is. The first part to talk about the inwards of the legs. That's when they were bringing, if they were bringing in an animal, uh, a cattle. But if they didn't have cattle, let's say they were poor and they didn't have cattle, they can always catch a turtle dove or a young pigeon and still bring an offering. All right. There was no excuses. You had no excuse for not bringing an offering to the Most High. All right. So let me see. This next one is Leviticus 5 and 6. Leviticus 5, 6. This is where all the laws are found. But I'm giving you the laws of tithes and offering. Okay? And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Most High for his sin which he hath sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. Now, a trespass is when you sinned and you didn't know you did it, but then you learned later that you did. So then you bring a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats for a sin offering. Okay? And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. The atonement means that you could get some forgiveness for that sin. Even though you did it and you didn't realize you did it, it was a trespass, but it was actually a trespass sin, like you didn't know that you sinned. Okay? But you found out that you did because somebody came up and told you, hey, that's against the law. They're not judging you for a bad thing. They're letting you know so that you can correct yourself. So if you say, who are you to judge me? You better hope that your brother judges you, your sister judges you, for the Most High does. Because you can't do nothing with him. Better to have somebody to tell you before he tell you. All right? Let's look at Leviticus 6 and 18. Leviticus 6 and 18. All the males among the children of Aaron shall eat of it. It shall be a statute forever in your generations concerning the offerings of the Most High made by fire. Everyone that touches them shall be holy. So, Aaron again is the first priest. His children are the priests. They're called Levites. Is a statute right here. So, laws, statutes, and commandments. This is a statute for all of the generations, that offerings made by fire to the Most High, everyone that touches them shall be holy. So you had to go through a cleansing before you came into the tabernacle. You couldn't have any sins. You had to be cleansed. You had to be bathed a certain way. You had to fast a certain amount of time. You had to, if you had to do any sacrifices, do any offerings to cleanse you of sins, you had to do that. You had to be holy, because if you went into that tabernacle and you weren't holy, you would die immediately. Just done. So you can't touch them unless they were holy. All right. So let's look at Leviticus 7 and 37. It says, this is the law of burnt offering, of the meat offering, and of the sin offering, and of the trespass offering, and of the consecrations, and of the sacrifice of peace offerings. All right. So these are offerings. Not giving your money to these churches. I don't care what they are. If they're Hebrew Israelite churches, if they're Christian, Catholic, Muslim, I don't care what they are. Don't give your money, because that's not what the Most High says. If you're going to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, follow them. And this is for your peace, actually, because for a lot of people, giving that 10%, they want 10% of your income in some of these places. I'm going to tell you a funny story, because you know I got a story to tell you. Now, my dad, he had a friend. Now, this guy was best friends with my dad's brother. So my uncle and this guy were best friends, right? They were street runners. You know, they were pretty boys. So they was always out in the street with these women running around. So I don't know when it happened, but at some point, my uncle's best friend, he found the Lord. You know how they have a come to whatever meeting and they found the Lord. So he actually, what happened was he became acquainted with this man who's a so-called Jew. All right, he became acquainted with him, and I don't know how they did it, but they ended up opening a church. Okay, so this man, so-called Jew guy, was a partner in his church, and they also owned a car dealership and a couple of other things. But he was the money man behind his church, right? So my my uncle's friend became the pastor. So my dad was so funny. Anyway, so my dad was like, "Oh, okay," So he started going to the church there for a while. My dad wasn't a big church goer, but I guess he give it a try or whatever. And so he was telling him about tithes and offering. Anyway, so what happened was this man, my uncle's friend who had the church, he had a bulletin board and he wrote everybody's name who was a member of the church that didn't give or pay their tithes on this board. So after they wrote all his name down on the board, and of course my dad's name was on it because my dad didn't give up one red cent. He don't play that. Listen, we had to beg him for money. He was so tight with money. Anyway, his name was on the board. And after that, he never saw my dad again. My dad never came back to his church again. That was it. That was it. He was done. That makes me laugh. That's so funny. And that's what you guys need to do. You know, don't you let anybody pressure you or embarrass you or try to, um, force you to pay some tithe and offering. Then they tell you that you're wrong, that you robbing God or you're doing something bad. You're not doing anything bad. Don't give those people your money. You do like my dad did. Don't ever show up again. Be done with them. Anyway, that is it. I don't like to keep you guys long. I like to get in and get what I need to say to you and get done. I hope this helps. I hope this gives you encouragement to read. I hope this gives you courage to say no. No is a good word. And hold on to your money. You're going to need your money coming up here because things are going to get really tough. And everything's getting so much more expensive. That's by design because they want you to be poor. They want you dependent on the system. They don't want you to be able to save anything and have any options. So everyone's trying to drain you for everything that you have. But one thing you can do is say no to tithes and offering because it is not done at this time. We don't have a tabernacle, so there's no necessity for tithes and offering. And if they tell you, oh, well, in the Bible, because they always want to pull up the New Testament, which I tell you, the New Testament is not part of our book. It is. It was written. I'll explain that to you later. And it was written by Israelites. Don't get me wrong. It was, but it's not. It's not correct. They did it under their own. Um, for their own reasons. But anyway, is that, oh, well, they took money. That money was that half a shekel that was given, and it was not done every year. Oh, I forgot to get the the scripture about it being every 3 years. Okay, got it. Okay, I found it. Deuteronomy 26:12. When thou hast made an end of tithing all the tithes of thine increase the third year, which is the year of tithing, and hast given it unto the Levite, the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, they may eat within thy gates and be filled. There we go. All right, and that's Deuteronomy 26:12. Amos 4, verses 3 through 5. I'm just going to do 4, okay, because 3 and 5. All right, so let's look at it. Amos 4, verse 4. Come to Bethel and transgress. At Gilgal, multiply transgression, and bring your sacrifices every morning, and your tithe after 3 years. Okay? So your sacrifices, if that lamb that you bring every morning that burns in the morning and then one in the afternoon, bring your sacrifices every morning and your tithes after 3 years. So tithes is every 3 years. And there's a couple of other places that that this is stated is in the Apocrypha. I'm trying to keep you guys in the in the Old Testament, so-called Old Testament, just so you can see it. All right. Um, every 3 years. So if they're telling you every week you need to bring a tithe, again, they're lying to you. Tithe is every 3 years, and they want you to bring in tithe. You go and raise yourself a goat and bring it in. See what they do with it. Anyway, I hope that this, frees you. Okay, freedom. All right, from the lies. Okay, so there you go. You guys follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Read, study to show yourself approved. It's almost time to go home. All right, let's get it together so we could get going back home. All righty. Bye.